Okay. Good afternoon to the adjudicators and debaters. Before we start our debate today, this is a gentle reminder. Please mute your microphone when you are not presenting. Thank you. Welcome to Tan Sri Datuk Sri Panglima Dr. Abdul Rahman Arshad Challenge Trophy English Language Debate Competition 2022. The motion for today is, this house would require partners to pay their husbands or wife for household chores. So acting as the government team for this debate is the team from Kuala Mudayan, with Mr. Alif Ahmad Razi as the first speaker, Ms. Amber Lee as the second speaker, Mr. Yuga Varga as the third speaker, and the reply speech will be delivered by Ms. Amber Lee. While acting as the opposition team is the team from KBB, Kulim Bandar Baru, with Ms. Wafa Amni Jeffrey as the first speaker, Ms. Priyavashini as the second speaker, and Ms. Renita as the third speaker. And the reply speech will be delivered by Ms. Priyavashini. There are 3 adjudicators who will adjudicate this competition. There are Madam Munirah binti Osman Saleh as the Chief Judge, and she will be assisted by Madam Mustia binti Hassan. And last but not least, Madam Siti Mariam binti Abu Bakar Yap. I would like to read out some of the rules of this debate. For the substantive speech, each debater is given 8 minutes to deliver your speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once. After the first minute to show that points of information POI can be delivered. The timekeeper will then ring the bell once again at the end of 7 minutes to show that the time for POI is over. At the end of the 8 minutes, the bell will be rung twice to indicate that the time allocated is over. A maximum time of 3 minutes will be given to both teams to prepare for the reply speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once to show the start of the preparation time, and the bell will be rung twice after 3 minutes to show that the time to prepare for the reply speech has ended. For reply speech, the timekeeper will ring the bell once at the end of 3rd minutes to signal that the debater has 1 minute left. At the end of the 4th minute, the bell will be rung twice to signal the end of the debate. Now, we shall begin our debate today. To open the case from the government team, please welcome the first speaker of the government team, Mr. Alif Ahmad Razi.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the adjudicators, honorable judges, accurate timekeepers, the opposition team, and members of the House. The motion that has been presented for today's debate is this House will require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores, and we, the government team, strongly support the motion today. Today, as the Prime Minister, I will be defining the key words which are crucial for today's motion and present one point why we must table this motion. Our Deputy Prime Minister, as the second speaker, we'll be rebutting the points given by the opposition team and present two points of our own to further support our case today. Our senior minister, as the third speaker, will rebut all the points put forward by the opposition team and affirm why our motion should be accepted. Now, as for the definition of the motion, according to Oxford Dictionary, require is defined as the need to do something. Meanwhile, partner is defined as the person you are married to. Finally, pay is defined as to give somebody money for work or service. Moving on, our case line for today is that paying your partner for household chores for doing household chores will ensure a long-lasting, happy, and understanding relationship. Moving on, allow me to present my point, which is it can be used as a means of appreciation and equality for the partner doing the household chores. Allow me to elaborate. A long-lasting, happy, and understanding relationship requires consideration for both parties. By paying your partner for their efforts of doing household chores, it eliminates the feeling of doubt that they are lacking in contribution between each other. The partner who's doing the chores will feel that their efforts are being appreciated by their loved one. Work done for free could be regarded as slavery. In a relationship, a partner should not be expected to do something for. Yes, accepted.
Don't you think that there's other ways that you can appreciate your partners without having the need to pay for their household chores?
Yes, of course. You can pay them by giving them love, which makes them happy, but then you pay them money, which makes them even more happier. It is a win-win. Allow me to continue. Work done for free could be regarded as slavery. In a relationship, a partner should not be expected to do something for free. When you are paying your partner for doing household chores, it shows that we have evolved from the medieval mindset where one partner, usually the female, is expected to do all the work at home for nothing in return. Yes, accepted.
What is your idea of an ideal marriage for the government team?
Our idea of an ideal marriage is marriage where both partners are contributing equally and both feel that they are happy and equal in their relationship. Both are satisfied with each other. That is our definition of an ideal marriage. Allow me to continue. It removes the sense of superiority between both partners, therefore reduces the risk of causing an imbalance in the relationship, which in the worst case scenario will result in a toxic and abusive relationship. A good working relationship should not have a feeling of forcefulness. Your partners will create a stronger, unbreakable bond as they feel appreciated. This feeling of satisfaction and love will further motivate the partner to continue working hard for their contribution in the relationship.
POI?
This shows that paying your partner will create a strong dynamic as both partners are aware and appreciate the contribution each other makes in order to uphold the quality of the relationship. Yes, accepted.
Don't you think that trust plays an important role in marriages, and they did not require some things that being appreciated? That is appreciated, but now trust is a required aspect, is an important aspect in marriage.
Yes, of course, trust is an important aspect, but is it not good for you to show your appreciation in a more obvious way? Your partner will see that you appreciate their effort so much that you are willing to pay them money. So allow me to continue. This shows that paying your partner will create a strong dynamic as both partners are aware and appreciate the contribution each other makes in order to uphold the quality of the relationship. Would it not be beneficial for the relationship when both partners contribute to the relationship and feel rewarded when doing so? It's the best of both worlds. The partner that's paying is happy that they're able to make their partner happy, and the one being paid will be filled with a sense of love and appreciation from their partner. We must remove the stigma. Of one partner doing the work and being returned with nothing, and implant a new mentality that enforces equality in a relationship. In conclusion, we as the government are trying to encourage relationships that revolve around the feeling of understanding and equality. As I said, my point revolves around the fact that by paying your partners, you will be able to create a sense of appreciation and love, and both partners will feel that they are contributing to the removes the sense of superiority where one feels they are superior to the other and one feels that they are lacking compared to the other one. When one partner is contributing as much as the other one, both will able to uphold a relationship that is long lasting, that is filled with love, that is happy, and that is understanding between both partners. The motion for today's debate supports the idea of an equal and appreciative relationship, supports the idea of an ideal marriage, which relates to our case line today, which is paying your partner for doing household chores will ensure a long and happy relationship. I would like to reiterate that we, as the government team, strongly agree with today's motion, which is this house would require partners to pay their husbands or wives to pay for household chores. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Alif. Continue. Then, to start the case from the opposition team, please welcome the first speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Wafa Amni Jeffrey.
Madam Speaker, respected members of the government, not forgetting fellow opposition members, and last but not least, members of the House. We have heard the definition of topic presented by the government. As the opposition, we partially agree with their definition. Now, I would like to start off with defining the word would. Would could be defined as someone believe or expected to happen or be the case. Next, require. Require is needing something if that is necessary or required. And partners is a person that you are married to. Pay. Pay means when you pay an amount of money to someone because you owe or buy something for them. And last but not least, household chores is a task that you must do that you find unpleasant or boring around the house. Madam Speaker and members of the House, before I specify the opposition's case 10, allow me to rebut the first argument put forth by the government. Earlier, the Prime Minister said that his point revolves around the means of appreciation and equality. Their case 10 also, I repeat their case 10, they says that this house would require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores because it ensures a long-lasting, happy and understanding. That is actually a very weak case 10, and our team will be further rebutting that case 10 later on. Next, he also said it requires consideration and being appreciated. Are you aware that there are other factors that can bring them appreciation rather than just paying them money, which I will explain this later on.
POI, ma'am.
Yes, accepted.
By saying other methods, are you indirectly agreeing to us that paying can be regarded as one method of appreciation too?
No, that's not exactly what we are saying. That is what we are saying is that we would not encourage, we would not require partners to pay for their husband or wives for household chores because it will lead to long-term repercussion within the marriages. I will explain that later on. He also stated about how it will bring equality to people. This is entirely wrong because paying someone is deemed as unappreciative because trust is the most important aspect in marriage. And he also said his argument revolves around understanding and equality. What I consider, my points of argument also revolves around equality as well. Before the government asks me anything, I wish you to hear my arguments first. I have rebutted the government's first point. Now, let me proceed to the opposition's case 10. So what is the opposition's case 10? We strongly disagree that this house would require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores. Our stand is that we would not require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores because it leads to long-term repercussions within the marriages. Well, as the leader of the opposition, I will put forward our first argument, that is, it promotes equality within the marriage. On the other hand, the second speaker of the opposition will further strengthen our arguments by presenting two more contentions. And our third speaker will summarize and rebut all the flimsy arguments given by the government. Members of the House, on to my first argument, which is promotes equality within a marriage. We are opposing today's motion because requiring partners to pay their husband or wives for household chores could actually promote inequality. I want to note here that these partners are married because they are husbands or wives. Marriages itself is a huge thing. They take someone. It means to take someone as husbands or wife in the name of legal partners. I repeat, legal partners. If this motion is passed, meaning that they are required to pay their husbands or wives every time they are doing the house chores. It doesn't make any sense at all. That is why we are saying that not paying for household chores promotes equality within a marriage. Now think about it. Paying for household chores will perpetuate the idea that someone is living inside the house, whether it is a housewife or stay-at-home husband. We are not bringing a stigma that there's a boy or there's a male or female that are doing the household. Yes, accept it.
So you are talking about equality when there is an economical hierarchy. As there's a difference in economical hierarchy, how do you regard this as equality? Equality and hierarchy are total contradictions.
I understand your point. You are saying about the hierarchy in this point that male are higher than female, right? That is exactly what we are saying, that with not paying for household chores, it actually promotes equality. But that is our point. But then again, we are saying that if paying partners for household chores actually promotes inequality. But then our point, if we would not require partners to pay for their husbands or wives for household chores because it promotes equality. Ladies and gentlemen, I am stressing the word inequality because it is exactly what's happening in our current status quo. Just the idea that someone would pay for their partners for doing household chores itself is irrelevant because the core of marriage itself is based on trust, as I stated earlier. People don't marry someone they don't know or have just met. Not accepted. They only married someone when they reach a particular stability in their life, which means that the partners have trust in each other. They don't need to pay their partners for a petty house chores as if it is necessary in the first place. And I want to ask the government once again, what is your idea of marriage in the first place? I wish to hear that clarification later on, because each person in marriage have their own respective responsibilities or commitment that they need to fulfill. I am strongly opposing this motion. Because the reality is that the husband or wives are working. Whatever the government is saying, they cannot deny for a fact that paying someone for something could actually break the trust between partners. My second speaker will further elaborate on this later on. Yes, accepted.
So you're talking about when one is working and when both are working, there's equality. Well, what if the case is one is working and one is not working? There's an economical hierarchy there. So how do you justify economical hierarchy as equality?
You say economical hierarchy. Hear me out. That is not what we are saying. You are saying that we are not saying that if they both are not working or they both are working. I'm sorry, what are you talking about actually? Please understand your motion first before coming into this debate. Ladies and gentlemen, just think about the undesirable consequences paying for household chores would bring in their marriage. Have I talked about the effects it could bring to the sustainability of their marriages? These could be detrimental to their marriage in the long term, which is so crucial in developing marriages, in marriages itself. Are the government supporting inequality indirectly by saying that they require the partners to pay for their husbands or wives? They are less important. This would only lead to one of the partners feel like they are less important in the marriage. I also want to clarify here that I did not put a stigma on whether a woman or man should stay in the house. I did not say that. Okay? That is why I iterated time and time again that requiring partners to pay their husbands and wives for household chores actually promotes inequality within the marriages. Madam Speaker and members of the House, the idea that they would require partners to pay their husband and wives for household chores will actually increase the rate of divorce among the partners. I have repeated time and time again that requiring partners to pay will only bring detrimental effects in the marriage in the long term. Rate of divorce increase parallel to the unharmonious environment within the marriage because number one, the trust is broken. Two, most importantly, It brings in inequality within the marriage. Doesn't matter if the person is a lady or gentleman, a housewife or a stay-at-home husband. Last but not least, I want to reaffirm our case stand that this opposition strongly disagree that we would require partners to pay for their husband for household chores. We would not require the partners to pay for their husbands or wives for household chores because it leads to long-term repercussions within the marriages. With that note, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wafa. To continue our debate today, I would like to invite the second speaker of the government team, Ms. Amber Lee.
Thank you, Speaker of the House. A very good morning to everyone. Before I continue with my points, I would like to restate today's motion, which is this House would require partners to pay their husbands and wives for household chores. And our team stand as the government team is to ensure a long-lasting, happy, and understanding married environment. Now allow me to dive into the arguments given by the Prime Minister of the government team. First of all, she said that we should understand the motion, but it's not us who isn't understanding the motion, it's you, because you're not putting forward any points. You're just touching on it. You said, okay, you said trust. Your POI given was trust, and you're saying that it leads to equality, but how? You did not mention how. So the government has been harping right now on trust, but we're not denying the trust they should give or that there are other ways of showing affection for their partners. But the government here is suggesting another way that we could do that as well. It's another way. We're not denying that there should be no trust, or we did not deny that there are other ways of showing affection. So what you said that it was trust, but it's irrelevant because we're not saying that by implementing this suggestion that trust should be neglected. We did not say that. And another thing you said was about stable money income and the commitment. Well, I would be explaining that in my point later, because you also said, you repeat time and time again about trust and inequality. I know you said trust and inequality, but again, how? I doubt the judges even caught anything as like what I couldn't catch as well. So now let me continue to my second point for this debate, which would then further explain about how trust and inequality, like you mentioned that you're so curious about, would actually help because of the suggestion we're bringing. My first point is that by paying their husbands and wives for household chores, it could create a long-lasting and non-dominating environment. Why so? It's because it would be non-dominating to both the ones who work and doesn't work, or the husband and wives. Because by implementing the payment, this would show the amount of payment that and the amount of effort in household chores, and this would equalize their effort and work in doing household chores. So the one who always does the work wouldn't feel like he or she would be the only one doing it. Because in most cases, only one would be very, very responsible for doing household chores. So by implementing this suggestion, like what we as the government is suggesting, both of them can see the amount of payment and equalize their job to respect each other. So let me give you an example, like what you're so curious about, where one person is working and one person is not. So the financial hierarchy, or one more thing, is that we are not discriminating gender hierarchy. We're saying the financial hierarchy, where one is working and one is not. So this financial hierarchy here wouldn't be the same between the both of them, which would lead to inequality of financial. So therefore, the one who would be doing the household chores would feel like they would be one step lower than the other. So like our case line said, we want to ensure a long-lasting, happy and understanding married environment. So how can we have that? It's that we want a long-lasting, it's one way. So requiring partners to pay their husbands and wives for household chores is one way of giving inequality. So the other one who doesn't work wouldn't feel as burdened. They wouldn't have no say. They wouldn't have no value, or they wouldn't have a lower sense of responsibility or commitment to the relationship. So in a way, the results of paying would then show make them feel acknowledged of their values and work. Because if you do not have this, only one person would be burdened with the household chores. This would certainly lead to an unhealthy relationship. So the results of paying, like what I said, it would then show them the amount of both their commitment in household chores and equalize their job accordingly. So this would promote equality, like what I am rebutting your first point, and respect, as I stated in my motion. Because, okay, we're not just to be, just in case you're going to go come against me, we are not saying the only way to respect is to pay, but it's one way of showing your respect and one way of showing your affection to the other partner for doing their household chores for you. So now that's an example. The other example is where both sides are working. Because both sides are working, they are both occupied with work. And the one doing household chores would definitely feel more burdened and bombarded with the responsibility of doing so. This is exactly why the other partner should be paying the other partner more, so their work and effort can be recognized. So money doesn't just define a note. Accepted?
Don't you think this will just lead to a destructive outlook on finances between partners?
How could it be destructive in financial planning in partners, where I have stated that this would be equalize their job, because one would be having the financial hierarchy that I mentioned would, it's because one is high, one is low, then now they are both equalized. How is this detrimental? You can explain that furthermore, but then what I'm saying here is money doesn't just define a note. It will define the acknowledgement of one partner, the appreciation of the other partner, and being grateful. Isn't this a healthy relationship? My second point is that it would provide financial freedom for partners who aren't working. They will have a way to earn money, and it's also a type of reward, so they can use it to buy something they want. The one who isn't working wouldn't have as much income. They wouldn't want to ask or burden their partners, because when love is present, they don't want to burden their parents. We're not saying that they should pay a big amount that would burden any partner, but they will agree that even a small amount of money paid, because would be okay to them, because the main point is not about the amount. The main point is about the feelings. So by implementing this way, the money they receive would be because of their effort, and they would be comfortable enough to use it for their own use. They wouldn't feel embarrassed to, compared to just straight asking them. So they would also enjoy adventures, enjoy hobbies. We're talking, wait, rejected. We're talking about average families, not rich families that can bring their partners anywhere, anytime. So both of them should have the equal right to have equal sense of being able to spend. Money can't buy happiness, but with money, it comes with happiness. Because of the equal right, one wouldn't have to compromise themselves just because they want to spend the same amount of, because they want to have the same amount of financial income in order to enjoy. So by paying through household chores, like we, the government, is suggesting, it's indirectly giving the other partner the money with them being valued and the sense of appreciation, and also leading to financial freedom. Yes, you can say the partner who's working can directly give the money to them in the form of love, but they'll still have the lower say and would still feel like slavery compared to giving them through a sense of reward, where they do household chores, they will feel value of their commitment, they will have a sense of accomplishment, and they will feel appreciated that the other partner is acknowledging their worth and their work in effort in their relationship. So in conclusion, we as a government is tabling today's motion. This house would require partners to pay their husbands and wives for household chores, because it will ensure a long-lasting, happy, and understanding married environment. My point was that it could create a non-dominating environment, and it will provide financial freedom for partners who aren't working. With this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Amber. The debate will continue with the speech from the second speaker of the opposition team. Please welcome Ms. Priya.
A very good day I bid to Madam Speaker, honorable adjudicators, most accurate timekeepers, loyal members of the opposition team, worthy opponents of the government team, and last but not least, dearest members of the House. The motion before the House today is this House would require partners to pay husband or wives for household chores. We, as the opposition team, wholeheartedly disagree with the motion, and we have come up with our own premise, which is this House would not require partners to pay their husband or wives for household chores because it leads to long-term repercussions within marriages. I, as the second speaker from the opposition team, will be rebutting the contentions given by the second speaker and also first speaker from the government team, and also further strengthen our case by providing two more concrete contentions. Let me just start off by saying that the second speaker is kind of confused about her own roles, whereas we are the opposition team and you are the government team. So stop addressing us as government team and also addressing our first speaker as the Prime Minister. So be clear of your role before coming into this debate. And also the government team, their entire contention revolves around equality, their partners feeling appreciated, and also they are feeling appreciated. And also the first speaker said that money will motivate them. Members of the House, it is crystal clear here. You can see crystal clearly here that the government team is literally saying that money plays a huge role in a marriage, whereas love, trust, and all of that doesn't really make a huge difference in a marriage. Yes.
We didn't say that money acts as a motivation. We said that money acts as an appreciation. Please don't put words into our mouth. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
My dear government team, this statement was clearly stated by the first speaker. If you pay more attention, you would know about it. He said that money motivates them. So please ask him and let me clear yourself. And he said that money will motivate them. They are trying to put this entire marriage thing where it's all about money. And they said that if one of them are working and the other one is not working, and they are doing house chores, we should pay them. They are looking at this problem from the perspective of the person who is actually providing the money. What about the one that receiving the money? They will feel like they are not good enough, or they will have the feeling where they are not rejected. They have the feeling where they will have the feeling where it's a part of marriage. Doing house chores like from husband or even wife, it's a part of marriage. That's how people get married. What we define marriage as, marriage here as is to take someone as husband or wife in the name of legal partner, because it's either about love, responsibility. When it comes to house chores, it's a responsibility, and we are not talking about giving money. Then only you should do house chores and all that stuff. Now, they also gave a case on saying that it ensures long-lasting, happy, and understanding relationship, which is absolutely false. That I'll be explaining in detail in my contentions. We believe that partners would not require to pay their husband or wives for household chores because it prevents the rise in unhealthy marriages. When a person starts paying the other person for doing house chores, it is going to promote toxicity between the partners. Marriages are literally a ritual where you take someone legally as your partner, where it should be about trust, partnership, and even teamwork, but not money. If we are bringing in this kind of culture into our world, it can lead to abuse, arguments, and so on. And at the end of the day, it will definitely cause to separation. Yes.
The theme of our debate today is about appreciation. Therefore, talking about trust, love, and all that is totally irrelevant. We do not disagree with the importance of trust and love, but we would appreciate it if you could debate on the theme of appreciation, as you could be relevant to the motion today. Thank you.
My dear government team, you took the stand of appreciation, whereas we are following the motion today, where we are talking about this house would not require partners to pay husband or wives for household chores. So please pay more attention on that. This case gets even more worse when those partners have kids. Members of the House, just take a second and imagine what will actually happen to these growing up kids. They are our future generation. We don't want them to be brought up in an unhealthy household, which can affect their mental health. I'm pretty sure those who are married within this meeting right now would not want their kids or themselves end up in this kind of situation. For the third contention, we believe that it leads to
POI.
destructive outlook on finances between partners. Rejected. Marriages are supposed to be teamwork, partnership, and filled with emotions, not money, my dear government team. Care and support, not to forget, love, which are the core of a marriage. But if the partners are required to pay their husbands and wives for household chores, then it will cause unhealthy obsession on finances between each other. Why is the government proposing to bring these types of unhealthy patterns in the marriage culture? Ladies and gentlemen, paying our partners will of course increase arguments within each other about finances. These arguments may get big and lead to divorce or separation with my first speaker, and also I've already mentioned it earlier in my speech. Nowadays, each individual are brought up to be an independent person. Thus, paying your partners will condition them to feel as if they are in constant debt or they are constantly owe their partner by money. Rejected. Who in this era actually wants to have the feeling of they are always in debt? No one. My dear government team, no one. This is why we, the opposition, would not require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores because it leads to destructive outlook on finances between partners. Madam Speaker and members of the House, we, the opposition team, have provided 3 concrete contentions that are well connected to our case stand. We believe that this House would not require partners to pay husband or wives for household chores because it leads to long-term repercussions within marriages. With that note, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Priyavahini. Ladies and gentlemen, and honorable adjudicators, let's hear from the third speaker of the government team, Mr. Yuga Varga.
A very good evening I bid to the honorable judges, very well composed moderator, accurate timekeeper, my government side, and not forgotten fellow oppositions. The purpose of me standing on the floor today is to rebut all points put forward by the opposition team. Before rebutting what they have put forward, I would like to clarify a certain concept that we are debating on today. The first thing is the main concept of our debate is about appreciation. Why do I say this? Is because the motion today states that this House would require partners to pay their husband, wife for household chores. Well, to pay, the general social understanding is when you pay someone, you are showing your appreciation to them. For an example, if you call a cleaner, you pay the cleaner because you're appreciating his job or you're appreciating his service he has done to your house. Therefore, payment can be regarded as a mean of appreciation. I'm not saying that you're regarding your wife or husband as a cleaner. Well, when your wife or husband does a household chore, you have to appreciate them by providing them with money, by paying them with money. Okay, now coming to what the first speaker from the opposition side has stated. The first speaker has talked about trust. As my prime minister was proposing his points, she had POI'd him about trust. Well, my only question here is, dear opposition, what has trust and payment got to do with each other? And although talking about trust, I would like to make it clear that we, as the government, do not disagree that trust, love, care, support, understanding, and all this are important in a relationship. We are also trying to justify the fact that appreciation is equally important in a relationship. Therefore, when our first speaker is talking about trust, and she had asked us about some other way to show appreciation, when we have proposed paying as a way to show our appreciation, she had asked us for some other way to show appreciation. I highlight some other way. By saying the word some other way, you have indirectly agreed to us that paying your wife or husband when they do a household chore is already a sign of appreciation. We do not disagree that there are other means of appreciation too, but we are highlighting the fact that appreciating your spouse, or rather your husband and wife, when they do your household chores through paying them money is a very noble act. Next, she talked about when you pay your husband or wife for household chores, it will result in a broken trust. How do you back your argument that paying someone for a household chore can actually result in a broken trust? Well, what is a broken trust? Trust is when you believe in somebody, when you believe that someone would not break your heart, would not break your trust. Therefore, when you trust someone, how can someone break the trust by paying you money? That is indeed just a baseless argument put forward by the first speaker from the opposition side. Next, the opposition has talked about marriage is a commitment. Yes, of course it is a commitment. What do you mean by commitment? When someone is married, a commitment also requires economical commitment. When you get married, you have to ensure that your partner is economically stable. As my second speaker has mentioned, you have to ensure that your partner has the same financial freedom that you have. For this, you have to pay them. And also, as mentioned from my second speaker, that when you pay someone, when they do a job, they have a feel of appreciation. When you just give someone an allocation for money just without them doing anything, only then do they feel a step lower, because they feel like they have been paid just because of mercy. Well, if they do a household chore and then you pay them, they feel a sense of being appreciated. And once someone is appreciated, the relationship where they live in becomes stronger. And a stronger relationship definitely promises a stronger trust. And the oppositions have been telling that our case line is very flimsy and it cannot stand. Well, our case line states that this house would require partners to pay their husband, wife for household chores to ensure a long-lasting, happy and understanding relationship. They have only said that it is a weak case line, but they have failed to rebut our case line with any solid points. The first speaker has been totally irrelevant from our debate today, as all she was talking about is trust and trust. She has also put forward an assumption, a mere assumption, that if you pay your spouse for household chores, it will increase the rate of divorce. Well, do you have any citation? Do you have any statistics? Do you have any research to back what you have just said? Dear opposition, that was just a mere assumption of what you have to say. Next, coming to what the second speaker has said. The second speaker has accused us of saying that we use money as a motivation in a relationship. Well, dear second speaker from the opposition, I would like to re-quote what my Prime Minister has said. My Prime Minister has said that when you are paid, a feeling of satisfaction is developed in the person who receives the money. The feeling of satisfaction can motivate the person to do more household chores, and thus providing a very understanding and
POI,
long-lasting relationship. Yes, accepted.
your first speaker said, quote unquote, motivates a partner to work harder when you pay them money. Please elaborate.
No, he didn't mean pay them money and then he gets motivated. I've just explained to you about how satisfaction motivates someone to do a job. Next, she talked about promotes toxicity. Well, I'm not sure if the opposition really understands what toxicity is. Toxicity is when you take advantage of another person just because they are weak. Well, if you don't pay, only then you are being toxic. It's because when you don't pay, the person has a lower financial freedom, and in order to live, to survive, they have to cooperate with you by doing all the household chores. Therefore, when you don't pay your spouse based on what they have or what they have done, only then you are being toxic to them. Instead, she has stressed again about importance of care, support, and love in a relationship. Well, dear opposition, we do not disagree with you that care, love, support, understanding, and everything is important in a married life. We are just reinstating our fact that appreciation is an equally important element. Therefore, by paying, you appreciate your spouse. And while you appreciate your spouse, only through appreciation comes love. Through love comes care, support, and understanding. When all these feelings combine together, we could result, as our case line states, we could result in a long-lasting, happy, and understanding relationship. So I do not find anything wrong with our case line. Instead, I find our case line very relevant to the debate today. And I also find that putting forward points related to trust, care, support, and love to our debate, which is mainly themed on appreciation, is totally irrelevant. Therefore, I would like to say a quote which I found today, that humanity can be likened unto a bird where one wing can be regarded as the man and the other wing can be regarded as the woman. Well, In order to ensure a successful and happy flight, both wings should develop equally. Therefore, I stress that equality in a marriage is very important to ensure a long-lasting, happy and understanding relationship. Before I rest my case, I would like to reaffirm our stand as the government that this house would require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores to ensure a long-lasting, happy and understanding relationship. With this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yuga Varga. Well, ladies and gentlemen and honorable adjudicators, this is the third speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Renita. Please welcome.
A very good day, I bid to Madam Speaker, honorable adjudicators, accurate timekeeper, loyal members of the government, loyal members of the opposition team, worthy opponents of the government team, and last but not least, members of the House. The motion before the House today is this House would require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores. And we, as the opposition team, wholeheartedly disagree with the motion because we believe that they should not be required to pay their partners because it leads to long-term repercussions within marriages. Now, without wasting any time, I would like to rebut what the third speaker of the government team has said. They keep harping on the fact that the theme of this debate is about appreciation and the main concept should be about appreciation. I will be proving you wrong on your very own arguments as to why you are not debating on terms of appreciation in my arguments. Moving on, he also said that he compared this entire motion and his arguments with the analogy that if you hire a cleaner, you will pay them to appreciate them, to show your appreciation towards them. I urge the members of the House to see that this is actually what the government team had at the very front of their minds. This analogy rejected. This was the analogy that he brought forth to compare between paying your partners and paying a cleaner. So to what regard do you actually hold your partners to, the government team? Moving on, he also said that both partners should have financial freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the easy way for both partners to be able to have financial freedom. What about being able to respect their boundaries, being able to respect them as individuals within the relationship, and actually letting both husband and wife to live on their own terms instead of requiring partners to pay each other for household chores and saying that that will lead to financial freedom for the other person. And they keep contradicting each other because the second speaker said that, we are talking about average families and things like that. So how much are you willing to pay your other partner in order for that partner to reach financial freedom? Do you even know what financial freedom is? Let me elaborate to you what financial freedom is. It means that you are not in debt at all in your life. So what exactly are you saying? Because all speakers are contradicting each other at this moment. Moving on, the third speaker also asked for statistics. Dear government team, please be aware of what this debate about. This is a philosophical debate, meaning that in current status quo, this is not happening, which means we cannot provide you with any substantial data or proof. This is simply an idea. This is a philosophical debate. Please stay within the motion and know what exactly you're debating about, dear government team. Moving on, I would like to rebut what the second speaker of the government team has said.
POI, ma'am.
He said that it will be, she said that, yes.
The analogy of the cleaner came into the picture to depict how payment is regarded to appreciation. I did not depict cleaner and household chores as one.
I got your POI. Yeah, I do understand that you said that you did not depict them, but at the end of the day, that was the analogy that you used at the very front of your mind. As the government team, you could have used any other analogy, and I urge all the members of the House to see that any other analogy could have been used, but you compared partners to cleaners. To what regard do you hold them? That at the very front of the government's mind, they are comparing their partners to cleaners. It still stands. My point still stands. You still did it. You still said it. You still compared them to cleaners. So my point still stands. Moving on, the second speaker said that it will lead to long-lasting and a non-dominating environment, and she also said that only one partner will usually feel more responsible within a relationship and all that, etc., etc. Let me point out to every single person in this room right now that the government team keeps harping on the fact, they keep harping on financial hierarchy, on a hierarchy in general. They POI us about hierarchy, but at the end of the day, it's actually the government team who keeps harping on the hierarchy that is happening right now
POI,
within our
please.
current world. She's the one that gave the example of that only one partner will be more responsible. Why do you feel that way? You are the one that's pointing it out that one partner will feel more responsible, one partner will feel lesser than. You are pointing out that there is a hierarchy there. You are the ones that said that in your very own words. Yes,
POI,
accepted.
when there is a hierarchy, we have to point it out that there is a hierarchy, because when someone is earning and someone is not, there's definitely a hierarchy. So we are
All right,
just
thank
pointing
you.
out what the reality is.
All right. First of all, you are safeguarding the motion. You are not pointing out the fact that there could be two partners that are working equally and also doing house chores. You're not speaking about that. And if you want to talk about hierarchy, we can have another debate about that. And because that is a completely different topic to be able to debate about. You should not be bringing up hierarchy when you're talking about whether or not partners should be required. They must pay the husbands or wives for household chores. Please be in touch with the motion that we are debating about today. And moving on, the second speaker also said that the other partner that is getting paid will not feel too burdened, and that they will feel more love when they're getting paid, and that they will feel more equal with others. Ladies and gentlemen, they keep harping on the fact that the core of this debate should be about appreciation, should be about appreciation. How is being paid even an act of appreciation at the very least when you're doing that towards your partner? Yes, when you pay or tip your waiter, that is appreciation. Yes, when you tip or pay someone that you don't know, that is appreciation. When you are paying your own partner to do house chores, how is that appreciation? Taking them out for a nice dinner would be appreciation.
POI,
Doing things for them in reality would be a nice appreciation. I urge the members of the house to think that if you were in the position of the partner that was getting paid, how would you feel after a long day of doing house chores? Your husband or wife comes home and does is pay you money, and that too we don't, and that too you don't even know. Like you're not even making sure that.
POI, ma'am.
Yes, accepted.
Well, your first speaker has indirectly agreed to us that paying can be a way of appreciation by saying that some other way, which means she still agrees that
All
paying
right,
is a
thank you. I
meaning
got
of
your point.
appreciation.
No, we did not agree at all. What she was trying to point out was that be paying your partners and your husbands or wives is not something that shows appreciation on the long term at all. That is what we are trying to point out, dear government team. Moving on, I would like to rebut what the first speaker of the government team has said. He started off with the case 9 saying that it ensures a long-lasting and happy relationship. In my arguments, I had
Yeah.
just rejected. I had just explained about why this is exactly not the case. There is no such thing as a long lasting and happy relationship, because my first and second speaker already elaborated, and I will be elaborating once more in my summarization later on as to why this is completely untrue. Paying your partners is one of the lowest regards, one of the lowest ways to show appreciation. Maybe we won't deny the fact that it does show appreciation, yes, but at what regard, at what kind of level is that showing appreciation? That is such a low level. I have already given you an analogy. You pay your waiter, yes, that is appreciation, but this is your wife or your husband you're talking about, a person that you love. Is this really the way that you want to perpetuate an idea on marriage, making them completely materialistic and money minded within the marriage? The government has failed to come up with any kind of rebuttals towards the fact that all these things will be happening. Moving on, I would like to go to the summarizations of side operations contentions. We say that it promotes equality within a marriage because it's a foundation for equality for both husband and wife, where one party does not need to pay the other. They are free to do whatever they want, and they have a mutual respect for each other within the relationship, something that the government team does not seem to understand that should be an important aspect within marriages. Moving on, we also said it prevents a rise in unhealthy marriages, where toxicity between partners will only increase if this motion is passed. And moving on, we also said that it leads to a destructive outlook on finances between partners, because it creates an unhealthy obsession with finance, and increases arguments between partners of finance. And finance is already one of the biggest causes of divorce, of arguments in general. So dear government team, please clarify how exactly are you going to overcome this if this idea is actually perpetuated through marriages in real life and the motion is passed? And also, how will it affect the children who are the product of these marriages? How will they feel when they know that their parents are that materialistic? With that, I've never been prouder to oppose. Thank you.
we have heard the arguments from both teams. And now, the debaters are given 3 minutes to prepare your reply speech. Now, to wrap up our debate today, here is the reply speech from the opposition team, which will be delivered by Ms. Priyavashini.
Good day, I bid to Madam Speaker and members of the House. I am back again to further convince you on our stand opposing the motion today, which is this House believes that this House would require partners to pay husband or wives for household chores, where we as the opposition team totally disagree with the motion, and we have come up with a case line, which is this House would not require partners to pay husband or wives for household chores because it leads to long-term repercussions within marriages. The government team tried to confuse everyone by giving a bunch of flawed and flimsy arguments without any proper explanation. They are keep on harping on the fact about appreciation, how the partners will feel appreciated and all of those stuff. But the government team has failed to explain on how it will actually make a person feel appreciated, whereas the analogy that was given by the government team itself is straight up terrible, which I'll be explaining a bit on in a while. And the entire case was going around equality and appreciative relationship. This is absolutely false because giving money to your partner is not going to make them feel appreciated, because it's going to make them feel that they are just being paid only for doing house chores. They made a direct comparison between partners in marriages to cleaners. Just imagine, my dear government team, if you have a partner right now and they listen to what you actually say, what would they feel about it? It's just going to make them feel terrible. And definitely this is not going to make them feel appreciated in any way. They also said that they had a great case line, long-lasting, happy and understanding relationship. This is absolutely false because we have already break their case line, which has been done by 3 of the opposition team speakers. And also they failed to break each and every contention that was provided by the opposition team. We gave 3 concrete contention, which was promotes equality within a marriage, prevents a rise in unhealthy marriages, and also leads to destructive outlook on finances between partners. All these 3 contentions was not rebutted by the government team at all. I really hope the educators take note on this. They only focus on the petty little things that was said by the opposition team, whereas we are talking about their contention and how they are not and how they fail to explain themselves as a government team. And also they did not break our case line. Our case line is it leads to long-term repercussion within marriages. They did not explain on how, if their motion, if government's case is being passed today, how it will not lead to long-term repercussion within marriages, because we have provided proper explanation on how it is going to lead them in long-term repercussions. Now, moving on to the summarization of the opposition team's case, we said that promotes equality within a marriage. This is absolutely true, because when we have a look at marriage, it's about relationship and not just about money. They are thinking that it is all about money. If you give money, they will feel appreciated. They are saying that money empowers. Money is like the most important thing, and like love, trust, they are saying that it is important, but money plays the biggest role in that. And also our second contention is it prevents a rise in unhealthy marriages. This is absolutely true, because when a person starts paying the other person for doing house chores, it is going to promote toxicity between the partners. And if you are bringing this kind of culture into our world, it can lead to abuse, arguments, and so on. And also the third contention from the opposition team is that belief that it leads to destruction outlook on finances between the partners. Ladies and gentlemen, paying your partners will of course increase arguments within each other about finance. These arguments may get big and lead to divorce, separations, and so on. Madam Speaker and members of the House, I believe I have proven beyond a reasonable doubt on why this motion need to be passed today. Because we as the opposition team believe that this House would not require partners to pay husband or wives for household chores, because it leads to long-term repercussions within marriages. We propose this motion to be denied. With that note, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Priya. And last but not least, here is the reply speech from the government team, which will be given by Ms. Amber Lee.
Members of the House, welcome for the last time from today's proponent. It is now my pleasure to summarize this debate. I would like to restate today's motion, which is that this House would require parents to pay their husbands or wives for household chores. Our team stand, as a government team, is to ensure a long-lasting, happy and understanding married environment. Before I go into their clashes and their points and all their rebuttals, I would like to thank the second speaker so much that they have already agreed, saying why the motion should be passed. So thank you for agreeing with us. We also think that today's motion should be passed. First of all, the purpose of tabling today's motion again is because we want to promote and ensure a long-lasting, happy and understanding married relationship. We are not encouraging a competitive environment nor unhealthy obsession, but by suggesting today's motion, it's also a suggestion to strengthen and prioritize equality in a relationship. We are not talking about the value nor the amount of money into care. This is a way of paying for accomplishing something. It's a way of appreciation and gratefulness. The government has been harping on trust they should give, and that, but we are saying that there are other ways, but then the government is suggesting another way that we can do it as well. We as a government, we are not saying that trust should be neglected. And you also said that when you're paid, because we, like, from what you're saying, we say that when you're paid, you get the satisfaction, which is also a form of understanding. If you don't pay, you're being toxic, like what you have said. You don't want a toxic environment, we as well. But if you don't pay, you're being toxic because you are the one who are taking them as slaves. You are the one who expect them to accomplish household chores. So you're taking advantage of the person, whether he or she is working. You said that they should be living in their own terms, but you are contradicting yourselves because living on your own terms, you don't want a toxic communication, a toxic relationship. But this would then lead to a toxic communication because relationship. Because what's the combination? What's the appreciation? What's the gratefulness? And again, how is pain? I don't understand because we said that you want to take them out on dinner. It's a better option because you don't see how payment is appreciating. But I do not see the difference. I've never seen anyone being sad about getting money. And you keep humping about us comparing cleaners and our partners. So are you discriminating cleaners? Are you underestimating cleaners? Because that was just a mere example of the government. That is not our main point. That is just an analogy. So like what we as a government have said, we are using this way as a mean of appreciation, number two, to create a non-dominating environment, and number three, provide financial freedom for those who aren't working. The biggest clash with us and the opposition team is that they want inequality, which is also what we as a government want. That's why I say the payment could show the equality of them, their commitment in house chores, so that the both parties can have equality commitment. And then you said toxicity, but then you're contradicting yourself also, like what I mentioned just now. You are saying an unhealthy obsession towards money. But like I said, when when love is present, they don't want to burden their parents. So we're not saying that they should pay a big amount, but the amount isn't the biggest problem. It isn't our care right now. They could even pay a small amount, but then they would feel appreciated. They would have the acknowledgement of them doing house chores. So a lot of cases, we as a government we suggest a motion today because, like I stated, financial freedom and a dominated environment. If not, if these things aren't present, what's the purpose of the suggesting, or why would we be having today's debate if we wouldn't just randomly give out or simply give out? So I would like to conclude. You also failed to oppose our case line again. But with this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Miss Amber. Well, that's all for our debate today. We would like to thank the honorable adjudicators and debaters for your presence today. But first, we shall wait for the results. Later. Okay, debaters, are you ready? So the result for today's debate, the motion is accepted. Yes, the government team win and the best debater goes to Yuga Varga. Congratulations. So with that, I wish you all best of luck. And thank you everyone for your presence today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck in the next rounds.
Bye bye.